Okay guys, next step, I would assume this is the left-hand cassette that we're going to deal with, which is the front one, and taking out the center chain I already did, the master chain going to the jack shaft of the crank. So now I want to try to get this cassette out. We put the Ford tools front and rear on this cam to keep it straightened out here so it doesn't move. The nub's up in position. It was top dead center when I put it here, because you got to put a lot of pressure on this nut to get it off, but this is a right hand thread, so it's lefty loosey, righty tighty. You have to take out this Torx right here that's holding part of the cassette, and there's a, I think this is a 10 millimeter nut right here, and that holds the lower part of the cassette. Yeah, 10 millimeter. And then I assume this cassette here will come out for us. So, like before, I already loosened everything to make sure I was paying attention instead of watching videos or making videos. But you have the tensioner here. We're not installing it. When you install it, there's a tensioner that you put in. It's a Ford tool that it's not really a tensioner, but it puts the right pressure on it to tighten everything up. But right now we're just taking apart, so I assume I can take this tensioner out. Alright, that's your bigger tensioner for the front, and I'm going to lay it over here. And if you look here, this is the components we have out so far. The rear cassette, I have to buy some torque to yield bolts, and the only thing that really happened was this metal one. This holds the guide. It got shaved off a little bit. And then you have, this is all the pieces I found in the motor. You know, all this thing came apart. So I'm hoping I got everything. There's a few I think got away. Of course, all of this put together makes that piece. So, but just to show you, that's how it comes out. You search and everything for everything you need. Okay, so getting started. I put pressure on this main nut here and loosen that up, and just like the other one, it's only going to come out so far, and it's going to hit the tool, which is right there. So we'll have to take the tool off. Take the tool out of the way. These tools are also used to put her back together for installation, so nothing moves on you. But you can only do one cassette at a time because they only give you enough tools for. And that's if I'm even using them right. This is the first time I ever had to deal with a timing chain set up like this. It's usually a single timing chain, not one of these multiple ones. But let me get this out of the way and we can. The tools are made and designed to bolt to the factory heads, and they hold the cams in place. I guess it's very important because the sprockets just spin once they're loose. Alright, I'll just put this aside. Oh, and there's another piece of the tensioner. Tensioner. Here's another piece. So, I think we're looking good on all the broken parts. Not all of them broke. Alright, now I'm going to do this Torx here, which is another one I think with an O-ring to seal the head. So I would recommend replacing the O-ring. The O-ring on this one's kind of dirty. And I guess watch out for the... See that bolt there, if you got to buy it from Ford, just looks like a pretty expensive one. Alright, so let's put that aside. Alright, now we have this one here, which is a 10. I already had it a little loose here. on this balancer here, I'm just thinking of taking this one guide off and replacing it. They say it takes a lot more abuse than the rest of the things, so I hope so. Just taking the girdle off, I guess it has to be aligned perfectly or I'll screw something up the way it mounts to the transmission. Alright, so now I hope there's no washers or anything here. So let me put this down somewhere. And also all these other guide bolts before they fall into the oil pan. Like that. I lost it. So I'm going to put them over here. And that guy. There she is. Clean it off. Okay, now let's loosen this nut up out of here. Now remember, the one in the back, for some reason, doesn't have this big washer. Or does it? Might be speaking too fast here. The front cams bolt. And, oh, I guess they both do. It's just this one sits deeper. It's got a deep sprocket. This one don't. That's why it looks different. It's not as deep, the sprocket. Alright. So now, it looks like they take it out as a complete unit. But that chain's getting locked up on a sprocket here. So let me take the little sprocket out. I guess if you had the head off, it would work. Let me just get this out of here. It'll work on the guide. Gotta remember which way that one goes. Alright, it's meant to fit over the jack shaft. There we go. I keep them together. I got a bad memory these days. But there you go. That's the left hand timing chain. Still good. We're removing it. Right there. Alright. Now as for the guide. How does she come out? Huh. Take a look down the chase. Does this come off? Nope. Well, folks, these are supposed to come out. I'm not getting how, though. kind of in there pretty good, ain't it? This doesn't come out of the way. Well, I have a little issues here, so I'm going to take off the video cameras and figure out how to get that cassette out of there. That's why I like videos, because when you watch people's pictures, they get it out, but they don't tell you how they get it out. It looks pretty extremely tight in there for that just to come out, so hate to remove heads and stuff to do this, but alright. I'll be back in a little bit and explain how I got the cassette out if I can. This is Cruiseroy, and I'm out of here.